Okay, so I tried to do the live on the YouTube, but it's just taking forever, and I don't know why. So, and I don't really have like a lot of patience for all that. I mean, literally, it was like taking like more than 5 minutes to load and go online. So I was like, screw that. So, which this works out better anyway. It's pretty much the same thing because the only difference is that I'm not getting the live time for it, but I don't really care because I don't really feel like responding to or feeling like pressured to have to respond to live comments. And that's because I have really bad social anxiety, for the world that, likes to make pre-assumptions, premeditated, or premature assumptions as to like why things or I am the way that I, without asking or knowing, because they know everything. Chances are they're like divorced a couple times with like kids that they're raising by themselves just because their husbands freaking had enough of them and just like decided to like move elsewhere. I'm just saying. And I mean that's probably not the same for all of them, but I can guarantee you that if you're not divorced, to these women I'm talking about, then you're definitely being cheated on because you all are just some like uppity up freaking snobs that think you know everything. You don't want to like go around offering all of this freaking opinion on things that you have no idea about. So, I know that one of my biggest problems is that I don't engage a lot, right? Like on like the live with people. I don't really like going to big events and big crowds because of my anxiety, which I am like diagnosed with and receive disability for. And so a lot of times when there's all that slander going on, I just let it ride because I'm just like not going to buy into it. And but I am seeing now that it definitely is harmful to me, to the rescue, to what we're trying to do here. And so here I am. So I'm not going to sit here and I want it to be known that what I'm about to, get into is I am simply doing so that I can have like something like a comparison in the sense of like, how or why I feel that your opinions are contradictory. Because I did not come up with the model in which the GNC's Advocacy and Rescue Corporation is, operated on, right? Yes, it's just naturally the way that I feel, and it's, it's the way that I feel is right, but I didn't, like, come up with it. I can't take that credit and say that I don't have a patent on it. Yet, meaning that places like Dogwood and Remap claim to run very similar ships, right? And that's okay, right? It's when they go in and freaking and do it. It's like, oh, you guys are like fucking the Fantastic 2, which is like great, right? Because I'm not in it for the fame, really. But what I don't like, and what makes it really difficult, is having to like defend my right to be here, if that makes any sense. So recently, my father-in-law, and if you watch the videos, you know that he's not big on animals, right? Meaning that it took a really special dog. That it wasn't like, anything that we did. It was simply the connection, and if you're a dog lover, then you understand, between a human and a dog that took place. And Salem, which her name was Sheila, ended up being adopted by my in-laws. And my father-in-law loved her, and she loved him. And it was amazing. And everybody that freaking was, in our lives was just like, oh my God, like, I never thought I'd see the day. Well, my father-in-law also has Alzheimer's, okay? And so, I mean, unless that has just recently become a crime. So anyway, so the dog got out of the yard. And on Facebook, all of these friggin' think they know everything. My thought is that it was animal control hiding under a, anonymous name, because of course this person was like posting anonymously. Had no, nothing to back up their claims. Just simply we're supposed to just take their word for it. And unfortunately, that's what happens, is that people blindly just say, oh, okay, well, if it's being said, then it's real. Talking about how we were like a hoarding house. No, we're a foster base. That we pretend to be a foster. Oh, I don't know. I'm at rescue, so I don't know like how you pretend to be on the IRS website. Are we registered with the Secretary of State? Yes. Are we registered with the charity, with the Attorney General? No. Because you don't need to do that until 30 days after you receive a grant, which we have not received. Because I'm not worried about it. I don't have a grant writer, and that's not what my priority is right now, to get money. My priority is on these emails that I receive about these dogs that are dying in shelters because they don't have nowhere to go. These shelters that are like being, held like, are being hunted down like with the pitchforks because the public thinks that they're like mass murderers, and they're trying everything that they can, and there's no options. That's what I'm worried about. And then, lo and behold, no good deed goes unpunished, because then I get the label from my nosy neighbors that don't know shit about shit that, oh, well, it's a hoarding house. It is not a freaking hoarding house. A hoarding house means that you don't have no intention on getting rid of them. We have rehomed over 100 dogs. Thank you very much, which is a 300 less than what Sue Davy has. And she operates a foster-based rescue that's not a 501c3. Thank you very much. So I applied multiple times, or tried to apply, for the kennel license, right? And the animal shelter's like, no, you can't do it in residential unless you have like an acre of land. Well, if you look up what a pet fancier license is, that alone contradicts rescue, just so you know. I'm not even going to get into that on this video because I only got like a couple minutes left because they're only 10-minute segments. But my question to you is that what grounds do you have to go speaking all of this defamation as though it's factual? And that's exactly what we sent out, was a letter to cease and desist the defamation of character. We've sent it out to both of the shelters, those being North Bay Animal Services and Sonoma County Animal Services, because they are spreading false information. How they are unable to do simple research and see for themselves that we are, in fact, a 501c3 determined by the IRS. Sorry, you don't have any control over that. Is beyond me. But I can tell you this. What would they gain from that? Why would they be out to get you? Well, you know what? They'd be out to get me because of all of the evidence that I handed over to the civil grand jury in my individual audits, animal service audits that I had been conducting, just because I, out of my love for animals and because I wanted to get some experience under my belt. But see, the thing is that too many times money and status corrupt people, right? They will turn a blind eye. They will make excuses. They will justify. I mean, if they can justify murdering animals, right, and put it off as a lack of good ownership, which is completely bogus, right? The truth is that these ordinances that limit the number of animals that a household, not person, household can have, is what creates pet overpopulation. So, because nobody friggin' gets past that first, initial bump, especially when you have somebody as, supposed to be as trustworthy as animal control, speaking ill, I'm just going to say this. I bet you didn't know that the ACOs at the Sonoma County Animal Services aren't allowed in the back of where the kennels are, or at least they shouldn't be, considering the fact that they like to go back there to the bite case dogs, rile them up by kicking their kennels, and then take videos of them while they're getting all hypey. Bet you didn't know that, huh? How do I know that? Stay tuned.